Hello, everybody. Welcome to my ranking of Trippie Redd's discography. So we're going to be ranking every single project he's ever dropped, from A Love Letter to You all the way to Genre Sad Boy. We are going to be including that one as well. We will be including Neon Shark, the deluxe, to Pegasus as well. So we have a total of 13 projects to get into. And right off the bat, though, I'm going to say that I don't necessarily think that Trippie has a bad album, but he definitely has some weak ones, and we're just going to dive straight into it in all honesty. Alright, so in last place, I have Genre Sad Boy, Trippie's collab EP with MGK. Now this just has to go in last place because this is just not a good project from the two. My best way of describing this is it is just a very generic project. There's just nothing unique about it. And the thing is, from the start, I wasn't really excited for this when it got announced just because I'm not that big of a fan of MGK. But I was still obviously going to listen to it. But the second I saw the album name plus the album cover, I was like, yeah, this is going to be generic as fuck. And I was right. It was very generic. And when we dive into the track list here, it starts off with Lost Boys. Now, I was very excited for this song, right? Because I really liked the snippet that Trippie dropped about a year before the project came out. But MGK, this is the only MGK part that I don't like on the EP, is his verse on Lost Boys. I just find it's very corny. Other than that, I do like MGK's parts to a certain extent. And I think Trippie does pretty well on the project as well. He doesn't really have a bad performance. And again, I wouldn't say there's a bad song on here. There's just none that entice me to go back to, except for Time Travel. That's the only song that I go back to on this project because it's the only one that's different from the others. And I like hearing Trippie and MGK rapping back and forth. It's sick. And I really like the chorus too. And I like the sound effect of the gun cocking in the chorus as well. It's fire. But other than that, like, I'm genuinely never going to listen to this album ever again, in all honesty. Again, it's just, I was kind of disappointed about it, but it's one that I definitely could have lived without it being dropped. I do have to say, though, I'm very happy that they only put 10 songs on it, because if this was like an 18-songed project, which I honestly wouldn't have put it past them to do, but thank God they kept it to 10, because if it was any longer, like, I don't think I would have made it through. So another thing I want to add to with Genre Sad Boy is what you kind of have to remember is that these are grown-ass men. Like, just let that sink in for a second. These are grown-ass men making this music. And when you look at the album cover too, it's just so cringy. And the part that's worse is Trippie's the worst part about it too. Like, I don't know what, like, again, there's no way in my mind that two grown-ass men wrote the word Genre Sad Boy and were like, yeah, that's fire. And it was really in that literally exact thing happened in that like movie trailer thing they dropped. Again, it's just, they could have done something a little unique with it, but they just didn't do that. All right, so next up we have Mansion Music. Now, I think you all knew that this was going to be very low on the list because similar to Genre Sad Boy, it is just not a good project. And obviously the obvious two reasons for it is one, just the length of the project. 25 songs is a lot. But add on to that almost every single song has a feature on it. It's just kind of insane. Like, there are only 4 solo tracks on this project. The rest have at least one feature on them. And it's not like a Travis Scott album where most of the songs have a feature on it, but all the features add something to the song. These are, again, just all generic, basic songs with just a verse from a random artist thrown in on every single song. That being said, there is still some decent songs and some good songs that I frequently go back to. But honestly, there's only around 6 or 7 that I actually go back to now. The album gets off to a pretty good start, I do have to say. The intro track, Mansion Music, is definitely the best on the album. Trippie just drops some straight bars. He has some sick lines throughout the album as well, saying something like, sending shots everywhere, I feel like Rambo, just bars like that are fire. Next up is Atlantis with Chief Keef. I don't really like this song, and I'm pretty sure it got removed from streaming as well. But then we have at number 3 is Psycho, which I did put in the top 3 from the album. It definitely is. Trippie and Future go off on this song. I really like that duo. Also, just have to throw it in as well. Very hyped for that Future, Trippie, and Metro collab coming out soon. Hope it's going to be fire. But anyway, moving on. Fully Loaded, again, is a decent song. Trippie and Future have good verses, but Lil Baby's underwhelming. Obviously, Nightcrawler with Juice WRLD is fire, and Trippie drops probably his best verse on the project on that song as well. Van Helsing is a decent listen. Dark Brotherhood with Lil Baby is really good. I really like that song. And Lil Baby drops a way better verse than on Fully Loaded. Free Rio is a good listen. Crazy Train by Travis Scott is a very different type of song, and it kind of hits, but I just don't really go back to it anymore. And then Muscles with Lil Durk is also one of my personal favorites. I really like that one. But then after that, the first 10 songs are good. Like the first 10 songs, there's not really a skip on it, except for Atlantis for me. But then the next 15 is literally just skip after skip, in all honesty, because one, like all the features are like random people, or at least most of them are, and it's like I just don't care to listen to these people. But then every single song is the same. Like it's just chorus, verse, verse from the feature, and then chorus to end off the song. It's just the same after the same, and it's like I just don't care the further down the track list I go. And the only songs from 11 to 25 I take out is Biggest Bird by Trippie with Summers, but I do have a bird to pick with that one. And why did Trippie have to put 2 verses from Summers on it? I just don't understand it, because Trippie's chorus on that is the best hook on the album. Like that hook is so good, and then he puts this random dude who's high off his mind off on auto-tune and just sounds like freaking creaky doorknob, and I just don't understand it. Like I would have been okay with 1 verse from Summers and then throw another underground guy on there, or give yourself a verse on the song Trippie. I don't know why you had to put the 2 Summers verses on there. But other than that, again, best hook on the album, and I still go back to it because of that hook. And other than that, the only other song is the outro Colors with Kodak Black, because it's one of the only songs that's actually different. Also, Swag Like Ohio is pretty decent as well. But again, it's just similar to Genre Sad Boy, just a lot of generic songs. It's just the same after the same after the same. And only a few songs that I go back to. And also, like an anecdote to add at the end here is, I remember after I listened to it for the first time, I didn't even feel anything afterwards. Like when it ended, I was just kind of like, huh. And because you know that feeling right after you listen to a fire album for the first time, you're like, that was fire, that was amazing. Like I didn't get any sort of feeling after listening to this album from start to finish, just because again, there wasn't much going for the album, there wasn't much in the album. So I just didn't get that much of an album experience on it. All right, so next up at number 11, we have St. Michael V2. Now, I have a massive bone to pick with this project, because in my opinion, this is Trippie's project that has the highest of highs, but the lowest of lows. Like it's his most inconsistent project, because I would like there are some of Trippie's best songs in recent years on here, but also some of his worst songs he's ever put out. And this is also the project that like confirmed to me that Trippie no longer has the ability to curate a good album from start to finish. And I think Trippie has the ability to make a project as good as the ones on the top of this list. I know he has the talent to do it, but I don't think he has the ability, because whenever it comes to curating a track list, he never puts his best songs on his projects anymore. I do not understand why he does it. I don't understand why he doesn't want to put his best music out there, but he just consistently puts bad songs over better songs, and this album is a great example of that. So we'll start with the first 7 songs he released on St. Michael V1. And the first version was, again, just a mixed bag. So it started off with Pray For Us, which is an amazing song, like one of his best songs of 2023, hands down. Second he dropped that snippet, I was in from the start. Like, I love that drill, the drill type beat on it, and the rapping is just so good. And I love how he changes up his flow twice in the song. He has 3 different flows in it. It's so good. I love when he goes into the high pitched voice. Love that song so much. Next up, we have Van Cleef Island. And this is just a chill song. Like, it's just a good song to listen to. Again, nothing more to say that. It's just a chill song to listen while you're doing schoolwork or something. But then the next song, 1716 Osage. Now, I have seen some people rock with this song. And again, if you like it, you like it. But to me, this is Trippie's worst ever song. And I'm not exaggerating. This song is awful. I can't even listen to this song. Like, I don't know what he was trying to achieve with this song. Like, his bars are just so bad. Like, there's a part where he keeps like saying like knee slapper and Saturn, but he's doing like knee slapper. Like, he's saying it in just this weird ass voice. And I'm like, why are you doing this? And then it gets even worse when he gets into the part where he's like saying everything in a high pitched voice, where he says like, I'm Peter Parker pimpin', I'm PPP. And then he says PPP in a super high pitched voice. And he does that multiple times and it just sounds so bad. And I'm like, there's no way you thought this was good, Trippie. But yeah, I genuinely consider that to be his worst ever song. The next up we have Okay Cool. And the name of this song honestly describes it perfectly. It's okay. It's cool. 7 a.m. in Ohio is the next song. And again, same thing as Van Cleef Island, just a good chill song to listen to. Yo Pierre Slime is underwhelming. But then the final song in V1, St. Michael Myers, is the best song, man. Like, this clears every single song from the first 7 and is, again, one of Trippie's best songs of the year and one of his best songs in recent years. It's just so good. I love the female vocals at the start, and then Trippie comes in with what he calls angel drill. Like, it's just such a good song. If you have not listened to this, listen to it right now. Like, it is so good. So then Trippie followed it up with St. Michael V2, where he added 7 more songs plus 3 bonus tracks. And he messed up the track list on this one because he changed it at the last minute and he made it so much worse. Like, it's not even funny how much worse he made it. So he swapped out 4 songs. Now, the first song he swapped the song I Love It for Wizard 101. Now, Wizard 101 is a good song. Again, similar to Van Cleef Island and 7 a.m. in Ohio. It's just a good chill song to listen to. But I Love It is so much better. I've had the luxury of listening to the 4 songs that were supposed to be on this project, and they are so much better than the ones that Trippie put on for them. And I Love It is better than Wizard 101, hands down. There is a snippet for it up on YouTube. So if you're a fan of Wizard 101, go listen to it because it is so much better. He also replaced Trippie Boat for Trippie Suave. Again, why would you do that? Because again, and this is the same thing for the song Snail Shells, is they're barely even Trippie songs. Like, he has a super short chorus and then it's just a verse from a random artist. Like, I don't care to listen to K Suave or YTB Fat. Like, who even are you, bro? I don't care to listen to these guys, and I would much rather listen to a Trippie Yachty song than a Trippie and K Suave song. And then he also switched out the song Sin for Montclair Coat. And now Sin is like an okay song, but Montclair Coat is honestly Trippie's second worst ever song. Like, he has his worst and second worst ever song on this project. Montclair Coat is so bad. The beat is awful. Trippie's flow is just atrocious. I can't even listen to the song. And to make matters worse, he put that on the track list over Doomsday People. Like, how on earth could you drop Montclair Coat over Doomsday People? So not only did he just replace this song for Sin, he also put it on over Doomsday People. So again, this guy cannot make a good track list anymore. But honestly, the most criminal one was replacing Miss Tanya with hashtag SDWL. So Miss Tanya is honestly would have been one of Trippie's best songs and one of his most unique songs. Like, it starts with like a voice recording of him on the phone with his mom, and then the song is just so good. Like, it's just such a good song. And then he replaces it with such a generic song. Like She Don't Want Love, again, is good. Honestly, I've listened to it a few times. It's a chill song to listen to, but it doesn't even compare to Miss Tanya. And how Trippie could scrap that song from the album just blows my mind. And he just messed up the track list on it. But getting into the songs that still dropped anyway, the first song is #RBDG. This is just not a good song. Trippie's just rapping about how horny he is, and I just don't care to listen to that. But track number 2, Popular, produced by 9 Lives. Now this song is fire. We're finally getting into some good stuff here. Popular is so good. It took me a few listens to get into the song, but once I got into it, like, I love it. I love it so much. Like, it's in my top 4 favorite songs on the tape, and there's only 4 songs I really go back to on this, and Popular is one of them. Next up, one that I'm so mad about is Pepe Lit getting removed from streaming platforms. This song is so fire. I love it. And I know Trippie was getting memed for it. And again, this is just the beauty of music, right? And the beauty of opinion. Some people rock with 1716 Osage and some people hate Pepe Lit. But I love Pepe Lit. Like, I love the repetitive lits on it. I thought it was so ham. And then Trippie has a super sick intro to the song. And then he just goes off after the lits, just spits absolute bars. And I'm so mad this song got removed from streaming platforms. But then moving into the final 2 songs we haven't mentioned yet, which are the other 2 bonuses. Now, the first bonus, Psychotic Lunatic, is Trippie's best song, probably since like 2020 or something. Psychotic Lunatic is so good. And the thing is too, after the first second of the song, I knew I was going to love it. And that's for 2 reasons. One was the beat, because it was just so good. There was no way Trippie could fumble that beat. But then also because the song was 4 minutes in length. And also too, I think that that's Trippie's first 4-minute song since Excitement in 2020, or just like a song on Pegasus. I'm almost 100% certain he has not released a 4-minute song since 2020. I know it's a small thing, but other than that, like, again, just Psychotic Lunatic is such a good song. Best song on the project. Trippie's best song of 2023, hands down. Really good. And then the project closes off with the song Skeletons, which is honestly a song I feel like I should like more than I do. But just for some reason, I don't really gravitate towards it. But again, it's a good song. And other than that, and yeah, just again, in conclusion, this is just a very mixed bag project from Trippie. Again, the highs are super high, but the lows are super low. So at number 10, we have Neon Shark. Now for this one, I'm just going to be doing the 14 songs that were added on the deluxe. I'm going to be excluding Pegasus, and then we'll be ranking that the Pegasus part on its own and the Neon Shark part on its own. So this is just the 14 songs of the actual Neon Shark. And this is a project that I don't go back to very often, just because I'm not the biggest fan of like the rock music or the alternative rock. But I do have to say, I do really commend Trippie. I do praise Trippie for actually making this because, again, he stepped out of his comfort zone a little bit, experimented, did something that, maybe not a lot of people wanted. But I have seen a lot of people put this project pretty high up on their rankings. And again, the only reason for me it's a lot lower is just because, again, I don't gravitate towards this type of music. But there are still a lot of standouts from the project. Pillbreaker, to start it off, is very good, which features Black Bear, and MGK. Without You's another good one. Swimming and Female Shark are a bit weaker. But then we have Geronimo with Chino Marino, which is pretty good. SeaWorld's good. Red Sky with MGK's good. Megalodon's good. Save Yourself is good. Dreamer's good. It's Coming is okay. But then track number 12, though, Leaders, hands down the best song on this project. And this is honestly one of my personal favorite Trippie Redd songs ever. Like, I love this song to death. It has the best beat. Like, the guitars on this song are so good. Trippie has one of his most emotional performances on a song ever. The lyrics are very meaningful. He has a very meaningful performance on here. And again, like, Leaders is just, it's a top tier Trippie song. And then it gets up to a bit of a weaker finish. Frozen Ocean's okay. And then Dead Desert's just kind of whatever. But again, the only thing I will say about this is there's not a lot of variety in sounds. Like a lot of the songs sound very similar to, again, the point where you could listen to songs like Without You, SeaWorld, and Megalodon, and then you don't really have to listen to a song like Save Yourself or It's Coming or Frozen Ocean or even like A Female Shark or Swimming, because like you can listen to half of the project and kind of get the same experience of listening to the full project, just because a lot of the songs are very similar and there's not a lot of diversity in how the songs sound, which again is why I think just listening to the standout songs is honestly a better experience, just because listening to 6 or 7 different songs is a lot better than listening to 14 of the same song. But other than that, again, it's a good project. I really respect Trippie for doing it because I think it's really cool. And if he does drop a Neon Shark 2, which he has talked about before, I'd be there to support him 100%. But let's move on to the next one. And one last thing to add with Neon Shark 2 is the 2 songs with MGK are a lot better than the ones that were actually on Genre Sad Boy. And just to kind of link it with that as well, like just another example how they actually could have done something a little different with it, but again, they just decided to be very generic about it. And then also to just kind of close it out, I do think Trippie is actually very good at making rock music. Like I think he just has the voice for it, like, and the screams and the yelling and the singing. Like he does sound really good. Like when the songs come off, he sounds really good. And that's again just the problem with this project is just some of the songs sound really good and then some of them just are misses. And I just think again if he kind of curated that a bit better, like took a bit more time, a bit more care and attention to make every song hit, this album really could have had a lot more potential. But I do just want to throw in at the end my favorite Trippie rock song. Now it is an unreleased song, but it's called Roadkill. And he made this back in 2018. And if you have not heard this, like go listen to it. You can find it up on YouTube. Just look up Trippie Redd Roadkill. It's such a good song. I'm so mad this never dropped. I'm so mad he didn't like re-record it or something for this album, because it would have been so awesome if he actually dropped this song. Because it's definitely, in my opinion, his best rock song. And because it's like a full-fledged rock song. Like it gives me such Nirvana-esque when I listen to it. And again, he's just like screaming. He's got the raspy vocals. It's just really good. And I would have loved to have seen it on this project. But again, I think Trippie is very good at making rock music. It's just, it's got a hit kind of, like there's not really a middle ground for Trippie and rock. It's like either it hits or it's a miss. All right, so now we are officially underway into the top 10 projects by Trippie. And at number 9, we have ! His sophomore studio album. Now to start off, this album has moved up a few spots in my discography ranking over the past year or two. And that's because for a long time, I was under that same boat of that same umbrella of people that hated on this album. It was like, oh, it's bad. Trippie sold out to his label, blah, blah, blah. There's not a good song on it. But then I actually sat down and listened to it. And that was because I got the vinyl for it. And then I listened to it. And honestly, listening to songs on vinyls, albums on vinyls, just make it sound better in all honesty. But then I actually realized that this is actually a good album. And again, it is nothing amazing. It's nothing spectacular. It's just a good album. And again, there's nothing amazing. It's not an amazing album. It's not a bad album. It's just a good album. And it gets off to a good start as well. The intro track, ! Is good. It's just a fun vibe. Again, that's a song that has grown on me a lot. I used to not like it and say it was like sounded like a forced radio single, but now I do really like the song. Track number 2, Snakeskin, is just, it's one of the best on the project, 100%, definitely the second best in my opinion. And honestly, one of Trippie's best singing performances. Like, that man just sounds so good in that song, and every time it comes on, I just get such good vibes. And again, it's no wonder it's one of the more well-known songs from the album. But the thing I do find very funny is how in this song, Trippie's rapping about how you shouldn't commit suicide. And then in the very next song, Be Yourself, in the chorus, he says, if you can't be yourself, you should kill yourself. And I just found again, that was kind of bad track listing there, telling somebody shouldn't kill yourself, then the very next song you're telling them they should. But anyway, moving on. There are a few, again, mid to bad songs on here. Like I Try is okay. Even Be Yourself is just a decent song. I'm not a fan of Immortal, Riot, or Signing Off. Those are the three songs that I don't really like. But there are some standout songs. Throw It Away is absolutely amazing. Like this is a top tier Trippie love song. Like I really like that song. One of the best from the project for sure. I like the song Keep Your Head Up as well. Trippie delivers two good verses on there, and the hook is pretty good. The next one though, up first though, Mac 10, again, just fire. Trippie drops a great hook on there. Two good verses from Lil Duke and Lil Baby. Again, I'm pretty sure that's the most streamed song from it, and again, one of Trippie's more well-known songs. Again, it's just a banger. But the next one, Everything B.O.Z. Now, this is a great performance from Trippie Redd, I have to say. Again, great hook, great verse, great performance. But the Coil Ray feature is the worst feature ever on a Trippie Redd song. Like, that feature is so bad. I cannot say it enough how bad Coil Ray's verse is on that song. Like, it literally makes it unlistenable for me. Like, I don't go back to that song because of that verse. It's just so bad. And again, like, Trippie and Coy just got back together, and, I'm happy for them. But Trippie, please don't do another song with her because she's just not a good artist. Again, just, please keep your musical career and your relationship separate because we know Trippie likes making music with his girls. But again, the song blew up on TikTok as well, so good for you, Trippie. But again, great Trippie performance, terrible Coil Ray performance. But then the next song, Under Enemy Arms, this is just a good song. Best song on the album, 100%. And this is a top 10 Trippie Redd song for me. It honestly might even creep into my top 5 sometimes. Like, this is just such a good song, man. Like, again, it's so unique. Like, there's not another Trippie song that sounds like this. The beat is just fire. It just gets going from second number 1. Like, those horns right at the start just get you in right off the bat. And it has one of Trippie's best music videos as well. Like, it actually tells a story with it. It's so sick. Again, love that song to death. And then we get Lil Wayne, which is fire, one that's grown on me a lot recently as well. And then obviously we talked about Signing Off, one of the weaker songs. And then it's also worth mentioning as well, the song that got removed shortly after the release of the album, They Afraid of You, featuring Playboi Carti. Now, I actually do not care that this song got released because I have listened to it multiple times, and I just don't think it's that good. Again, Trippie's hook is nothing special at all, and I think it is one of the weaker Playboi Carti verses we've heard, especially when it comes to features as well. It is a pretty weak performance, so I'm not that bothered that song isn't on streaming platforms. But yeah, other than that, again, ! is just a good album, which is why I gave it a 7 out of 10 rating. All right, so at number 8 is Pegasus, the original version of obviously Neon Shark versus Pegasus. Now, this is an album that gets way too much hate, similar to ! But I really liked Pegasus when it first came out. Now, I will say I don't go back to it as much as I used to. And again, the main thing is just the length of it. Like, 26 songs is a lot. It's literally twice as long as ! But it is still honestly a good album. Like, I recently listened to it again for the first time in a while making this ranking. And I did at first have ! over this one. But honestly, I just think Trippie sounds better in this album. And I just think there's a lot of better songs on this one compared to ! And it's just a really good album, honestly. Like, again, there's not really a bad song on here. There's just a lot of songs. But there are a lot of like standout and really good songs. Like Love Scars 4 is really good. Obviously, Excitement with Party Next Door is a banger. We get at track number 9, the best on the project, which is of course We. V12 is really good. Spaceships with Young Thug is a massive highlight. Like, that song is so freaking good. And again, it's a breath of fresh air. Like, it's so different from everything else, and I really love it. Track number 14, Good Morning, is just a fun track from Trippie. I really like that one. I don't listen to it as much as I used to, but I've always really liked that one. No Honorable Mentions is fire. To Fly is fire. Oomp's Revenge Part 2, we get in Trippie get into a bit more of his emotional, lyrical bag on that one. Sleepy Hollow's fire. It's like this album's The Grinch. Dawn is good. Hell Rain with Lil Wayne and Hoodie Baby is fire. TR666 with Sway Lee is good. And then Sun God is a nice closer to the album. And there are, of course, weaker songs on here. Like, there's nothing special about Kid That Did or Take One. I Got You's weaker for me. And there are weaker ones at the start, like Pegasus, probably one of my least favorites. Same thing with Let It Out, the intro to the album. But again, songs like Moonlight, The Nether, So Stressed, Mood with Chris Brown, Never Change with Future. Just a lot of, again, just good songs on here. It's, again, a little bit similar to Exclamation Mark. Nothing crazy, nothing, again, it's from start to finish. There's nothing crazy. Like, there are, again, great standout tracks. Like I said, Love Scars 4 and We and Excitement, my top 3 from the project. But it's an album from start to finish that you don't really go back to, again, just because of the length. There is a decent amount of filler and reasons like that. But other than that, I do enjoy it to a certain extent. All right, so at number 7, we have the first appearance of Trippie's iconic A Love Letter to You series, A Love Letter to You 2. Now, this is definitely, in my opinion, the weakest in the series, but it is, again, it's a good album. It's a good project. And it is also one similar to Exclamation Mark that has grown on me a lot over recent years. Like, I've recently realized actually just how good this project is. And I also think it is one of Trippie's more unique projects as well. Like, I think there's a lot of unique songs on here, and a lot of songs on here that are just unique from the rest of his discography. It has a lot of songs on here that don't sound like anything else he's ever made before. And one thing that also stands out to me is the amount of songs that are around 4 minutes in length. Now, this is a very minor detail and something I don't think anyone else is, I've never seen anyone else talk about this, and I don't know if it's anything that anyone else has ever even realized or thought about, but there are a handful of songs on here that are around 4 minutes in length. And it's very unique and different from the rest of Trippie's discography, because especially over recent years, Trippie makes a lot of songs in the lengths usually around 2.5 minutes. He even has a lot of songs that are about 2 minutes long. Literally, his most popular song is Taking a Walk, which is about 2 minutes in length. And I pointed that out as well with St. Michael V2 in the song Psychotic Lunatic. I'm pretty sure that's his first 4-minute song since 2020. So just that he had a project here that, honestly, I'm pretty sure like close to half of the songs are about 4 minutes in length. I just think stands out pretty well. But the biggest flaw with this tape is the features, I have to say. And it's one thing about Trippie too. He needs to try and pick better features. Sometimes, like, his features can be very underwhelming sometimes. And when you look through the track list as well, it's all underground people. And it's not just because they're underground. It's just because their verses aren't that good. And a lot of the features have, like, I can tolerate a lot of them now. But the first few times I listened to the songs, like, I couldn't even listen to them because the features were so bad. But I've just learned to kind of tolerate them. But anyway, we'll dive into the track list a little bit here. Obviously, it starts off with Bust Down, which is just a Trippie Redd classic. There's not really anything else to say. Best song on the album, in my opinion. Or actually, not. I'm going to go second best on that one. But then track number 2, Feel Good. Again, you just feel good when you listen to this song. Like, again, I love the Trippie performance. Again, the features are a little weaker on it, but again, I can tolerate them now. In Too Deep is good. Dead Man's Wonderland, again, just a unique song. Like, those first 4, such unique songs. Again, I don't like the feature on it, but I can tolerate him now. Whoa, Whoa, Whoa is a little weaker. Back of My Mind's probably one of my least favorite on the project. But then at number 7, we have Today. Now, this song describes the features perfectly on this mixtape. So Trippie comes in with a super energetic performance about how today is going to be a good day. And then Uno the Activist comes in with the most boring and monotone verse I've ever heard in my life. It would literally be as if I was a rapper. Like that's literally how this guy sound. If I was a rapper, this is how I would sound. And it just doesn't mesh well with Trippie because he drops such an energetic verse and then the song just like dies the second Uno comes in. But then track number 8 is Hellboy, which is the best on the project. Again, I love Trippie when he's like rapping and just going off like he does on Can You Rap Like Me. It's so good. I love Hellboy, and I really like the more melodic chorus. And then he just gets into this grimy and grippy rapping. It's sick. Back, Back, Back is not bad. Dangerous, again, is pretty decent. Features, again, a little underwhelming. Overweight with Chris King is very good. I like that one. Overdose on Life is one of my personal favorites as well. And then the album finishes off a little bit weaker with I Know How to Self-Destruct. Now, this is a song where I get what Trippie was going for, but it's just like missing that extra punch. It's just missing something is the best way I can describe it. The song is just missing something. And then it closes off with Let Me Down, which again is okay, but honestly, I find the song kind of let me down a little bit. But other than that, again, I just think it's a very unique project from Trippie. It's different. It's a lot of unique songs. Again, songs like Feel Good, Dead Man's Wonderland, Dangerous, just again, different from the other stuff he's done in his career. But yeah, other than that, good project, and let's move on to the next one. So we are following up the first appearance of Trippie's iconic mixtape series with the second one to feature on this list, which is going to be the most recent and the final installment, A Love Letter to You 5. Now, Trippie made us wait for this project, bro. We waited for well over a year for this thing. And I have to say, off my first listen, it was worth the wait. But as time has gone on, I have gone back to this album less and less, and I've gone back to less songs as well. I've just found that certain songs on here just haven't really stuck with me. Again, those first few weeks and months after it dropped, there's probably 13 or 14 songs I was going back to, but now there's only around 8 or 9 that I'm going back to, which is still pretty decent, about 50%, but nothing too crazy. And again, this is another example of Trippie just not being able to curate a good album. Like, there were so many better songs he could have put on here. Again, just so many of the snippets and so many of the leaks that I've heard that could have and honestly should have been on this album. Like, I could have made a better project than this, bro. Like, you put on definitely a few songs that shouldn't have been on here. But we'll get into the track list a little bit here. Starts off with Take Me Away, which again, a huge grail. So happy this song got out, and I'm very happy with it. It's such a good song. I do have to say, though, the Corbin feature at the end is definitely unnecessary. Now, I will say that I get what Trippie was going for. And again, I like that he did it because, again, it's something different. It's something he's never done before. And again, it's similar to kind of what Metro did on Too Many Nights and Superheroes on Heroes and Villains, where Future and Chris Brown come in with, like, again, that short closing verse on the song. So I get what Trippie was going for, but again, it just doesn't really hit with the Corbin verse. But other than that, it's still a good song. I still go back to it because, again, I just skip the Corbin verse every time. Last Days, though, again, song I was very excited for. Really liked it off the bat, but I don't go back to it anymore. Again, I don't know, I just got sick of the song very fast. It was just one of those songs that just didn't stick with me. But then track number 3, Thy Motion. Now that's a song that's going to stick with you, bro. This song is so good. Honestly, like, it's hard to pick my favorite, but this is definitely in that conversation. It's such a good song. It's such a vibe, bro. Like, it really puts you through the motions, man. I really like it. And then we get How You Alive. Big grail here. Trippie originally recorded this in 2018 and re-recorded it for this album. So he dropped it, 5 years later, which is insane. But again, huge standout. You can definitely tell it was made back in 2018. But yeah, then we get Thinking About You. Again, I like the song. It's a vibe. Second verse is a little weaker, but other than that, it's a good song. Praying for Love is good. Reality is a huge standout. A Feeling. I absolutely love that song, man. Like, it's such a good song, man. And then the Sky Morales verse, oh my God, like, that has to be one of the best female features on a Trippie song for sure, and one of the best I've heard, bro. Like, I love Sky's verse on that, man. Then Romantic Fantasies is the first, like, major skip for me. Like, again, I don't go back to Last Days, but Romantic Fantasy is just it's just boring. Like, it's a very good vocal performance from Trippie, but the song's honestly just kind of boring. And then you follow that up with I'm Mad at Me, which again, huge standout. Trippie and Wayne go off on that song. I really like it. And then we get into a bit of a stretch here again of songs that I just don't go back to. Closed Doors, Action, and Left for Dead. Again, listen to them a decent amount when they first came out. Again, I was never really a fan of Closed Doors anyway. But again, I just don't go back to those songs anymore. But then we get Wind with I almost said Coil Ray, with the Kid Leroy. Very good song. One of the standouts for sure. Again, we get the Kid Leroy with a very like emotional and just like he really makes you feel as he's singing on that. Like, it's just such an emotional performance from him. And then Trippie just comes in with this very energetic and just switches it up a bit, but it fits really well. And I really like that song. Then we get Helicopter, which again, like, I don't know why you put this on here. It's not a bad song, but it's more of a Tommy Lee Sparta song. So again, I don't know why Tommy Lee didn't just drop this and had the Trippie feature, why Trippie had to drop this on his project. Took My Breath Away is another one that I don't go back to. I liked it when it first came out, but similar to Last Days, I just kind of got sick of it. Flowers is Trippie's weakest performance on the project, hands down. Bryson Tiller is very good, but Trippie just doesn't hold his own, and I ain't going to be giving him flowers for that song. And then we get The Hate. And The Hate, for me, is honestly similar to I Know How to Self-Destruct. It just feels like it's missing something. And I feel like if it had that extra, like, punch to it, like it could have been a good song, but it's just missing something. And then we get a nice bonus at the end, Trip McKnight. So happy the song finally dropped. One of Trippie's most fire songs ever. Like, this is so good. Again, definitely would have been better with a feature. Like, it was originally rumored that Ski was going to be on it, and I think that would have been ham. If he dropped a verse like he did on Demon Time, would have been so sick. But it still stands on its own as just the Trippie song. Again, one of his most ham, just one of his most fire songs ever. But yeah, just to kind of conclude again, it's a good album. Definitely Trippie's best project of 2023, which he did obviously drop the 3. And I mean, beating St. Michael and Mansion Music isn't that hard. But again, it's a good album. Obviously didn't sell very well, but again, I don't really care about numbers in that, in all honesty. But yeah, good project, but still could have been better. All right, so into the top 5 we go, and at number 5, I have Trippie Redd's 4th studio album, Trip at Night. Now, I was really struggling whether to put this one above or below A Love Letter to You 5, but in the end, I've gone with it above, obviously. And honestly, that's just because the album experience from start to finish, I prefer it over A Love Letter to You 5. And now, the thing that 5 does have over this one is, again, just a bit more versatility, a bit more diversity in the songs. Because Trip at Night, the songs are very similar, right? They're all these rage type music, like the beats are very similar, but the songs are just too fire. Like, the songs are they're just so good that it makes up for it. And also, like, again, if it was a lot of bad songs, kind of like Mansion Music, it's a big standout flaw that they all kind of sound the same. But when you look at Trip at Night and the majority of the songs are really fire, it doesn't matter as much because, like, all the songs hit, right? And the album gets off to such a good start as well. So there's a total of 18 tracks on here, and all the way up to track number 10, there is not a single skip. The first 10 songs are all literally just banger after banger after banger. We start out with Molly Hearts, and oh my god, like, I was just listening to this song before I recorded this. That song is so fire. I just love it from the get-go, man. Just the energy is so high. And then we get MP5 with Sofago. Again, just a banger. One of the best hooks on the album for sure. Like, the project starts off very good with the hooks. Molly Hearts and MP5, very good hooks. And Sofago drops a good verse on that one. Then track number 3 is, of course, Betrayal with Drake. Again, you probably would have wanted a bit more from a Drake-Trippie collab, but again, the song still hits. And how it transitions into Drake's part from Trippie to Drake is so clean. That transition, honestly, the standout of the song for me is the transition between artists. Track number 4 is a little different from the other ones. Finish Line, still fire as hell. Then we get Holy Smokes with Lil Uzi. I mean, you don't really gotta talk about that one that much. Supercell's a banger. Then also you have Miss the Rage with Playboy Cardi. Kind of the song that inspired this whole tape, right? Like if that song didn't blow up the way it did, I don't think this album would have sounded the way it did. Trippie really dove into that rage sound because of this song. But again, the song's a banger, 100%. Track number 7 though, Supernatural, is a standout on this song. Like one of Trippie's best just pure rapping performances, hands down. I love the beat switch on it. And again, Trippie starts off too with like, the high pitch, rap like take a chill pill and stuff like that is fire. And then it switches up with the beat switch and then Trippie just spits bars for the rest of the song. And then he follows it up the exact same way on Demon Time. Comes in with a great verse, spin bars at the front. The hook is weaker on this song for sure. It is the biggest flaw with the song. Ski comes in with a great verse, and I do think that Trippie's weak chorus is why people say that Ski carried this song, because Trippie's verse is really good, but then it just is a weak chorus on the song. So because of that, it kind of overshadows Trippie's good verse and then really puts the spotlight on Ski Mask. But other than that, again, still just a fire song. Then you move into, honestly, probably my personal favorite on the album, which is Matt Hardy 999 with Juice WRLD. I mean, that is just such a good song. It really is. And again, I know Trippie changed the beat and cut off a few bars at the end, but I still think the song sounds really good. But then after this one, the next 8 songs is where there are a few misses. Songs like Vibes, New Money, Space Time, and iPhone are filler tracks in my opinion. Again, I just find the choruses are a little weaker. The hook or the verses aren't as good. And again, it's just a lot of the same. And kind of, again, when you get to that second half of the track list, you've already listened to a lot of similar songs. Like kind of one thing, New Money is honestly just a worse version of Holy Smokes. And I already think the hook on Holy Smokes is a little weak. And then New Money is just like an even weaker version of that. And same thing, like Space Time, just not much to it. iPhone, not much to it. And you look at the length of these songs as well. Vibes, Space Time, and iPhone are both just over 2 minutes by a couple of seconds. Like they're just really short songs that don't really offer that much. But there are a few standout songs, of course, in the back half of the track list. Obviously, Danny Phantom with X. Now, this was another one. This part was taken out of the song Ghostbusters that was released years ago. Not on streaming platforms, just on Spotify. And I actually like the changes that Trippie made to it. I like the change of the beat. And I also like how Trippie put more energy into the hook. Because I like the chill, mellow feel to Ghostbusters, but I like the rage feel to it a lot better. I like the energy that Trippie put into his hook. And then obviously X delivers just a fun, nice hook. But in the original song, it also featured Ski Mask and Quavo. I actually would have liked to have seen him keep the Quavo verse, just because, again, the song is very short. When you take out the audio thing at the start with the lady talking on the news, the song is only about a minute and a half to a minute 45 seconds. So if you added in that Quavo verse and then obviously added the hook afterwards as well, I think the song would have been a little bit better. But again, it's still very good just being a Trippie X collab. And then, of course, the penultimate song, Rich MF. I mean, it's a hit, bro. It's one of the best on the album. Such a good song. Again, one of the best hooks, hands down, on the project. Trippie delivers a great verse, and then Lil Durk and Polo G come in with great verses as well. And then the song ends on Captain Crunch, which is just kind of a song Trippie promoting a bunch of underground artists. I don't really go back to it. Again, fun chorus from Trippie, but I don't really care to listen to the underground artists. So again, good project, but the thing I will say about this is I do find there are a handful of weak hooks throughout this project. And that's one thing with Trippie is I always thought he was very good at making hooks. I think that's one of his strongest things is his hook making ability. So whenever in this project, it's a lot, just again, he misses the bag a lot. Again, Holy Smokes is weaker. Demon Time's weaker, Vibes, New Money, Space Time, iPhone are weaker hooks for sure. So there are weaker ones, a lot more compared to other ones. But other than that, that's like the biggest sort of weakness for me is, or biggest flaw to the album is his hooks. But the one thing I will say though is Trippie got the features right on this album. I think it's honestly, it's probably his only album where all of the features perform. Like there's not a single song on here where the features don't perform. They all drop great verses and they all add to the songs. Where again, I think on so many of Trippie's projects, like he could have left out so many features or just chosen better features for the songs. And it's actually really nice to hear a Trippie album where all the features actually add something and all of them are good. And again, like, I don't know if you guys had seen like that post where it's like Trippie got the infinity stones of rappers on this album. Because again, he got big names, bro. Cardi, Drake, Uzi, Juice, X, Ski. Yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, we'll move on to the next one. All right, so at number 4, we have Trippie Redd's debut mixtape, A Love Letter to You, the one that started it all, man. And I have to say, to date, this is still some of Trippie's best work. Like, so many songs in this tape are some of Trippie's best ever songs. And yeah, it's just still going back to it to this day, man. It is very good. So obviously the album starts off with Trippie's breakout hit, Love Scars. I mean, there's not much to say about this. We all know that song. We all love it. Track number 2, though, Love Scars Part 2 / Rack City. Now I have a bone to pick. And going back to the feature thing. The features are awful on this song. Like, they do not sound good at all. This song used to be absolutely unlistenable for me because of the features. But again, I can tolerate them now and actually listen to the song. But again, those first like few times I listened to it, it was unlistenable because of the features. And again, just the thing that sucks is I really like Trippie's performance on it. Like, again, I love like the raspy and the dark and the hard hitting, like just the way that he raps on it is so unique compared to other stuff. And again, just the features just don't mesh well with how Trippie was sounding. And again, I just would have loved to have seen Trippie done more for himself on this song. But anyway, moving on. Obviously, Romeo and Juliet's a classic. I mean, not much to say about that one of Trippie's best love songs for sure. Next up is Deeply Scarred. Now, this is a song I used to like a lot, but I don't go back to as much now. And then next up is Blade of Woe. Again, this is a good song, but again, I just don't like Famous Dex's voice. Honestly, I just don't like it. It's just a personal thing. It's not a bad feature by any means, but I just don't like how he sounds. And it's just the way his voice is. Like, it's kind of, he has a similar type of voice to Lil Yachty, where it's just kind of very monotone. But I just think with Yachty is he makes himself sound a lot more listenable just with his auto-tune and just the way he uses his voice. And I don't think Famous Dex achieves that. And again, I just don't think him and Trippie mesh well on this song. But I do really like Trippie's performances. You know, like I was stabbed in the back, like fire. Next up, though, track number 6, It Takes Time, is one of Trippie's most underrated songs ever. And this is one of his best songs, man. One of the best on the project. I have it in the top 3 from this mixtape as well. It is just so good. Like from minute 1, from second 1 to the last second of the song. Such a vibe, such a vibe. Next up, though, Pulse 1469. I mean, there's not much you have to talk about this one. Again, similar to Love Scars, man. It's one of Trippie's most well-known songs. One of his biggest earlier hits. It's just fire. And honestly, probably one of 6ix9ine's best features ever. Like, I do like 6ix9ine on this song for sure. And again, Trippie just coming in crazy. Like, 1400, you know, he told him Pulse, man. It's insane. And then track number 8, we have one of Trippie's longest song titles ever. No Smoke, No Smoke, 1400 BC / Sauce. Now, this one's fire. I really like this song. So this one is the least streamed song from the mixtape. But it's so good, man. Like, Trippie just comes in, spitting bars. And also too, the way it transitions from No Smoke to Sauce, again, is so clean. Such a clean transition into the next song. And again, the feature comes in, does his job. I really like how he comes in too, like, he's saying like, I got you, Trippie, and stuff as he comes in. Again, just fire. But next up, track number 9, Stoves on 14th, man. This song is immaculate. Like, I love this song so much. Honestly, it's my favorite song on the tape. Got it in my top 3, and again, so underrated as well. I'm pretty sure it's one of the least streamed. Like, it's the second or third least streamed song on the tape. It's just so good. It's so unique. Like, there is not another Trippie Redd song that sounds like this. I can't even explain it. It's just so good. If you haven't listened to it recently, like, go give it another listen, because it is such a standout Trippie Redd song. Like, it's in my top 10. And the feature on it as well, like, is decent. Again, not bad. It's a good feature. Again, like, it doesn't ruin the song or anything or take out anything from the song, but Trippie's part is just so good that it could be the worst feature ever and the song would still be good. Then we have track number 10, which is Limitless. Now, this is one that the features could have been left out of. Trippie drops a very good and energetic performance on here, and then the features just are misses. Then track number 11 is one of Trippie's more well-known songs, one of his most unique, Can You Rap Like Me? I absolutely love this song. I'm still trying to learn all the bars to this because I just love hearing Trippie rap. Like, it's just one of those things, it doesn't come around very often. It's like Christmas, once a year. And that's how it used to be back in the day. Like, Trippie used to drop one song like this on his projects where he just spit bars. And again, he spit some crazy bars, everything about like I'm the bullet in the barrel and the gun that shot Kennedy. Like, it's good, man. It's good. And then the outro, Never Ever Land. I love this song so much, man. Like, this is, again, just another standout Trippie song. Hook is very good. The way he gets into the verse is just sick. And then it just closes out the album very nicely. And again, you look through it, you got about like 4 or 5, even like 6 songs that are top tier Trippie on this. Like, about half the tape is top tier Trippie Redd songs, and that's pretty good. So again, it's an album that has stood the test of time for sure. All right, so we've made it into the top 3 now. And at number 3, we have Trippie Redd's most commercially successful album, A Love Letter to You 4. Now, this tape is just amazing. It really is. Again, just some of Trippie's best work ever on this. And the first thing I am going to say does have to do with exclamation mark. Now, again, I stated before, I like the album. It's good, but nothing crazy. I will never understand how in 2 months Trippie could go from making exclamation mark to making this, because this is leaps and bounds better than exclamation mark. And I have no idea how he could just go from making good music to making amazing music. Again, like this tape is just hit after hit after hit. Like, a majority of these songs are some of Trippie's massive and biggest songs ever. And again, this album just encapsulates Trippie so well, because again, it has that versatility. It has almost every single different style that he does on it. And again, the features too are very good. Like, there are a lot of features on here, but the majority of them do a good job on their songs and perform well and fit the songs good as well. But obviously we'll get into it here. So obviously it starts off with Lee Ray, which isn't really a song. Trippie like just kind of talks a bit, obviously talking about Coil Ray. But I really like when he kind of sings at the end, like the whole part, like, I need you to show me, love me closely. I really like that part. I always scream that in the car when it comes on. Then you get track number 2, which is hands down the best. Who Needs Love, man? I mean, who needs it, bro? Who needs love? This song is so good. The music video slaps as well. I've loved this song from the second it played, bro. Like, again, this song is in and around Trippie's top 5 best ever. Like, definitely in his top 10, hands down. Track number 3, Lovesick. I mean, not much to say about it. It's just a really good song. Love Me More is a banger. And then we get Real Feel, which I really like. Definitely an underrated Trippie song. I really like it though. And then we have probably the best hook on the tape. Honestly, one of them, top 3 for sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have it in my top 3 tracks from it, but This Ain't That. This Ain't That is so good. I do have to say, though, the Lil Mosey feature could have been better. Honestly, you could have left it out or picked a better artist. Like, again, I just don't think Lil Mosey matches Trippie on the song. But I do like the start of it where, like, Trippie's like, this is Lil Mosey and Big 14. He says something like that in the start of the song. But again, the hook is so good. Trippie's verse is so good. Just a great song. Then you get Six Kiss, Juice WRLD, and YNW Melly. Fire song, one of the most popular from the tape. Then we get Till the End of Time. Now, this is just such a chill love song, man. Like, I really like it. And then we get You Deserve It. Now, this song is amazing. This is a standout hook from the tape. And just a standout hook from Trippie in general. I love it. And I love the part, too. I didn't notice this for a long time, but when Trippie says, blow me a kiss, there's, like, a sound effect of, like, a kiss. Like, he goes, like, moi, as he's saying it, and it's just fire. And again, Chris King and Quanta drop good verses as well. And then you get one of my personal favorites, Hate Me with Youngboy, Never Broke Again, NBA Youngboy. I love Trippie and him going back to back, man. And I am not a Youngboy fan, but whenever he makes music with Trippie, like, it just slaps. Like, he's one of those artists, bro, that when Trippie links with him, they never miss. They never do. And again, that song is just top tier. So, all those songs I've mentioned so far, the first 9 songs are just, it's literally just hit after hit. Now, the first miss does come with All For Me with Smoke Perp. Now, I really wish Trippie didn't put this song on here because it's just not that good. And it also appears on Smoke Perp's album. So again, like, just leave it to Smoke Perp, bro. Like, Trippie, you're leaps and bounds above this guy. Why are you putting him on your album? But then things get a lot better after this. Starting off with the song Sickening with Tory Lanez. Again, just fire. It's very similar to a song like This Ain't That. Just fire hook, fire verse from Trippie, and then Tory comes in with a great verse. And Tory Lanez is very similar to NBA Youngboy. I don't listen to this guy. I think I have like 2 of his songs on my playlist. But whenever him and Trippie makes music together, it just slaps. Like, Ferris Wheel is all I have to say, bro. If you have not listened to Ferris Wheel, go listen to it because it is one of Trippie's best features ever and just genuinely one of Trippie's best songs ever. So good. Love when these two link. And then, I mean, the next 2 songs, The Grinch and Death. I mean, what more is there to say? The Grinch is like one of those songs that literally started the rage movement. And Death is the song that got me into Trippie Redd. Like, whenever he dropped that as, I'm pretty sure it was the second single for the album. Yeah, after Love Me More. Then he dropped Death with DaBaby. Bro, I fell in love with Trippie the second I heard this song. Like, this song is just so good. I just love the sound of this song. It is so fire. And then we get a more different type of song with RMP. Again, this is one that kind of had to grow on me a little bit too, just because, again, like the high-pitched Richard Millie playing in the chorus. But again, it's not a crazy song. It's all right. And then M's featuring Lil Yachty and Pierre Bourne is probably the weakest song on the album, I'd say. Again, Trippie doesn't do a whole lot, just saying like he's a 10-figured person. Like, he just goes from like 5 figures to 10. And then I don't like the Yachty hook. And then I'm pretty sure Pierre has a verse on it too. And I'm like, bro, just stick to producing. Next up, though, Bust Down Dur. Now, this song, the hook is so amazing. Like, this hook is literally angelic. And then I do like Trippie's verse on it. Again, I think it's just fun. He's just spitting some fun bars. But why did you have to put a French artist on this song? Like, why did you have to do it, Trippie? Because, again, such an underrated song. It's the least streamed song on here. But this would have been a hit because of that hook. That hook is so good. But then Trippie puts in a verse that I can understand why people don't like his verse on it. I like it just because, again, it's fun. It's energetic. He spits some fun bars. But, again, it's just the French feature. Like, I skip it every single time I listen to it. And then we get the Jungle Book with Lil Wop. Lil Wop coming in like some dude who's been smoking cigarettes since he was age 3. But again, I like it. It's ham. And then Trippie just comes on for the rest of the song and spits fire. And then the next one is Chosen. Now, this one, I really like this song. Again, just a good song from start to finish. Trippie comes in with a good hook, 2 good verses. And then Abandoned with Abandoned featuring Mariah the Scientist is again one that I know a lot of people do like. I just don't go back to it that much. Just again, I think there's way better love songs on here and just ones that sound a lot better too. Like I think this one's pretty generic, where again, songs like Who Needs Love, Lovesick, and Love Me More at the start are just so much more unique and just better for me. And then the album closes out with Can You Rap Like Me Part 2. Again, this is just more of a Chris King song. Like Chris King is on this so much more. And again, I don't really like how Trippie raps on it. Like, again, it's fun, it's energetic, it's fast paced, but I honestly think Trippie should have ended the song on Chosen. I actually think that would have been decent if he did that. Again, if he cut Abandoned, Can You Rap Like Me, and All For Me, and honestly M's, and changed the French feature on Bust Down Dur, like those couple of changes, honestly would have made this album like a 10 out of 10. And again, just because of those few little filler tracks in here and a few little things he could have done better does drop it down a little bit. But still, other than that, like the album is still so consistently good. The highs are so high and the album stays up there for the majority of it, which again, makes those couple of bad songs, those couple of fillers just don't seem as big because you still get so much good stuff from this album. All right, so top two, and I think we all knew which ones were going to be in the top two here. And obviously if you can do process of elimination, you'll know what is at number one. But first, we'll focus on what is at number two, and that is A Love Letter to You 3. Now, this for a long time was my favorite Trippie project, but we'll kind of get in a bit more why it's not when we get into number one. But again, this is just a really good project too. Like Trippie followed up. This 2018 was Trippie's best year, bro. I understand why people say it was his peak, just because he dropped his best two projects in it. But again, this one's just so good. Like honestly, not a miss on it. Again, maybe a couple weaker songs, one or two things he could have improved on, but it's just such a vibe, man. Like it's just such feel good vibes when you listen to this album. And again, just has so many standout Trippie songs, so we're just going to dive right into it. I mean, the intro, Topanga, like, do we really have to say anything about that? Top 5 Trippie Redd song, one of his most well-knowns, just the one song that, like, everybody likes by Trippie Redd. Then we get Firestarter. Now, this song is so underrated. I absolutely love this song. Like, Trippie just sounds so good, and this is a song, too, that, like, everybody should like. Like, this is one of those Trippie songs where it's like, if I showed it to someone, like, I'd be mad if they didn't like it because I feel like everyone would like this song. And then again, and then Amani 22 and Vitas are like featured at the end with some vocals, which just add a little bit to it. Track number 3, though, is one of my personal favorites with Toxic Waste. Again, one of Trippie's most meaningful songs. Like his lyrics are actually like, he's really talking about something in here. And again, just talking about a toxic relationship. And again, it's just a really good song. It's been one of my favorites since I've first listened to the album. Number 4, though, Negative Energy. Don't listen to this title name, man, because when you listen to this, it's going to give you some positive energy, man. Like, it is such a fun, fire song. I love Trippie rapping about, like, yes, you get, like, McDonald's for his girl, bro. So ham. And again, the chorus, I just love it because I love how Trippie's, like, rapping, and then the chorus is, like, melodic. And then the Cody Shane feature, oh my God, I love it. Like every time I listen to her feature on this song, I like it even more. Like it just gets better with every single listen. Very similar to Sky Morales' feature on A Feeling on A Love Letter to You 5. Like these have got to be two of my favorite female features on a rap song, bro. Just so good. Number 5 is Can't Love. I mean, holy crap. Like listening to this song makes me feel like I can't love, bro. Like I love how he does, like she says she loved me, she says she loved me not. You know, like you're pulling the rose petals off a flower. So ham. And then again, the verse, so good. And then I like at the end how again it switches up with the whole beat thing. Fire. Number 6, Love Scars 3. I mean, again, not much to say about it. It's a really good chill song. Same thing with Love Letter to You 3. Baby Goth, good feature, good chill song. You don't want to test Trippie after listening to this. Then you get Amani Interlude, which again, Trippie's not on it. Again, I don't go back to this song ever. But again, it doesn't tear it down at all because, again, it's just an interlude, so who cares? Then track number 9, Elevate and Motivate. Now, I do have a bit of a bone to pick with this one Good hook from Trippie. Again, sometimes this hook is like, sometimes it annoys me, and then other times I really feel it. But my big thing is, why is Youngboy's part so short? Now, obviously, we talked about him in A Love Letter to You 4 on Hate Me. Again, like, Trippie and Youngboy just have really good chemistry. But again, why is Youngboy's part so short? Like, he only has 4 bars. 4 bars. And the song gets off to such a good start, too, because Youngboy comes in as fire. Trippie comes in with some fire bars, too, and just keeps the song going. He's like, roundabout, he doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve. He wears it in his chest. I like that bar. It's fire. But then this Nel De Niro guy, why is this dude on here? Like, this random-ass dude, and he just doesn't sound good. Like, he's just boring, and I don't care to listen to this guy. Like, I much would have rather get a full verse from Youngboy, and then just kind of split it up. Like, we get Youngboy's verse, get the hook again, and then Trippie could come in with his verse. Like, I don't know why this guy's on here. It just takes a little bit away from the song. But then at number 10, we have I Tried Loving. Again, this one's similar to Elevate and Motivate. Sometimes I love it. Other times I don't. But it's still a good song. Number 11, though, Wicked. Like, this is a wicked song, man. I really like it. One of my personal favorites, 100%. Hook is so good. I love the verses on it. And then we get Loyalty Before Royalty after that. Now, this is one of the songs that's like, I can understand why people wouldn't like it just because how Trippie raps. But I love it, man. Like, the hook, Trippie just spits bars on it. I like the part. Again, it's kind of like corny where he's rapping about, like, the Pikachu and the peekaboo lines and God bless me when I say at you. Like, they're kind of corny bars, but, like, I just still like it. It's fire. I love rapping to it. And then, of course, we get the absolute classic 14999 freestyle with Juice WRLD. Juice and Trippie's best collab, hands down. They both complement each other so well on this song. Both, like, easily the best Juice WRLD feature ever. And again, they just both complement each other. Both, it's just a really good song. Then we get So Alive, which honestly kind of sounds like an interlude. Like, again, short hook, short verse, hook to kind of close it out. But I like it. It's a good song. Number 15, though, Diamond Mines. Again, don't know how I feel about it because I really like Trippie's part on it. And this song has grown on me a lot over time as well. But I don't really like the Elliott Trent and Tory Lanez features. Like, my big thing with Tory Lanez is I don't understand why he wants to sound like that. Like, he literally sounds like a girl. And I'm like, why do you want to sound like that, bro? But Trippie's part, I really like his part at the start. Like, the whole, like, 1400 Till I Die stuff. Like, shooting stuff like Columbine. Like, those bars. Like, I really like it. Again, I would have liked to have seen Trippie have a bit more of a part on it because, again, it feels like the features song. Like, it feels like Trippie's a feature on his own song again. And then it closes out with Campfire Tales, which, again, standout song. Really like the drums on it. Really good beat on it as well. Like, again, that's a standout thing for this song. I think Trippie his part could have been a little bit better, but, again, the beat is just such a standout and just gives a nice closer to this album. And, again, it's just a really good project, man. I love it from start to finish. One of my favorite album covers, too. Like, that, the cover is so sick. And, again, start to finish, man, honestly not a skip. It's very good. Again, just apart from one or two minor things, this album is close to perfect. All right, so at number 1, I mean, was there really any doubt? Life's a Trip by Trippie Redd, his debut studio album. This is hands down my favorite album of all time. It is just the definition of perfect for me. Like, from start to finish, man, this is an album experience. This is an album. Like, Trippie, go, like, whatever mindset you were in when you made this, go back to it because this project is so good. Everything about it is amazing. Again, literally like 7 of these songs could easily be in Trippie's top 10. And also, too, like, I put my top 3 on the screen there together, Taking a Walk and Bang. There's literally 4 or 5 other songs that you can make a case for to be in the top 3. And I, like, this is one of those things, too, like, I know a lot of people will have different top 3s to me on this, and that's perfectly fine. And I totally understand it. Like, if you put some other songs in your top 3, because, again, there's just so many good songs on here. And, again, just from start to finish, man, such a good album. Obviously, it starts off with Together. Now, this is such an underrated Trippie Redd song. This is one of my personal favorites, and I think one of his best ever songs. The beat is just amazing. One of Trippie's best writing, 100% is on this album. So many of the songs actually have meaning to them. And we'll kind of get into the songs that don't have meaning as well a bit later. But again, one of Trippie's best writing is on this album, and his writing is really good on this song as well. It's a very meaningful song. I love the screaming from Trippie. So good, and like the humming and just everything about this song, man, from start to finish. It's one of my go-tos when I really need just some more emotional music to listen to. Then track number 2, of course, is Taking a Walk, Trippie's most streamed song ever. And again, you don't have to go much into it. Like, it deserves to be Trippie's most streamed song. Such a good hook, such a good beat, such a good verse. Again, very short, but it's short and sweet. Then we get into Wish, which is one of Trippie's more well-known songs for sure. Again, the writing's a little weaker on it, but it's just still such a good song, man. Such a feel-good song. And, you know, like whenever Trippie performs it, everyone gets their flashlights on their phones out and they're swinging it and stuff. Just ham. Then track number 4, Missing My Idols. I mean, again, Trippie just spits bars on this song. I really like it. I really like the hook. The verses are good. Moving on to Forever Ever. Now, this song has the one thing that I don't like about the album, which is the Reese LaFleur feature. Again, Trippie, stop putting these random-ass dudes who don't know how to rap, who don't know how to put any emotion into their rapping onto your songs. Like, Young Thug is so good on this song, and Trippie's verse is amazing. One of his best verses on the tape is on this song. It's so good. And again, I love Thug's part. Like, it's just such a vibe. And then this Reese LaFleur guy comes on and just raps about nothing and doesn't do anything. And I'm pretty sure, too, like, at the end of his part, he, like, repeats the same bar over and over again. And I'm like, just get out of here, buddy. Again, if he cut that, would have been an 11 out of 10. But because this guy's on, I have to put it just as 10 out of 10. But again, it's a minor thing. Again, I don't know what it is with Trippie and features, man, but he just needs to make better decisions sometimes. But that's another thing I really like about this, is how only 2 songs have features on them. Just 2 songs. I really like that. Because again, you look at pretty much every single other Trippie project, usually over half the songs have a feature on it. Like, obviously something like Mansion Music is like its own thing, but again, things like even his debut projects, even A Love Letter to You 3, A Love Letter to You 4, A Love Letter to You 5, Pegasus, like Trip at Night, these have lots of features on them. And again, I don't necessarily think it's a coincidence that Trippie's album with the least amount of features is his best, because I even think Trippie doesn't even know his full potential, in all honesty. I feel like he feels like he needs features to kind of make the songs more popular, to make his music more popular. But Trippie, you don't. Like, you are such a talented artist. And again, look at this. Your best album just has 2 songs with features. Like, it's the quality over the quantity for features 100%. For literally anything when it comes to music, well, especially features, like Trippie, a lot of the time does quantity over quality when it comes to features, and just kind of songs too. But again, it's a minor thing, but I really like how this album just has 2 songs with features on it. But anyway, moving on, after Forever Ever is Bird Shit. Disregard the title of this song because it is amazing. I love this song so much. Such a standout song for Trippie, man. Again, just different from everything else, and it's just such a vibe. And then track number 7 is my favorite Trippie Redd song ever, which is Bang. And I mean, the hook on this, bro, like the chorus, so good. And he has such a fire verse as well. And again, some of Trippie's best writing, great meaning behind the song as well. I absolutely love it. And I don't know what it is, but when you make a song in all caps and have an exclamation mark after it, like, it's gonna be a banger. Look through X's catalog when he did it, bro. Like, just adding an exclamation mark to the end of your song automatically makes it a banger. The track number 8 is How You Feel. This one has grown on me a lot recently. I really like it. Again, slower, kind of touches a little bit on a bit more kind of rock feel, but I really like it. And then number 9, I mean, is just the classic Dark Knight Demo featuring Travis Scott. Again, like, just imagine if Reese Flair wasn't on here. Again, Young Thug and Travis are your only features, bro. Like, that's just insane. Dark Knight Demo is just an absolute classic. Not much else to really say about it. It's just really good. Track number 10, though, Uka Uka, so underrated. And this, in my opinion, is Trippie's hardest song ever. Like, Trippie just spits bars on this song. And literally every verse gets better. He has 3 verses on it, and everyone is better than the last. And again, I really like the chorus too, where he just kind of repeats, like, swear I don't want no pressure. Such a fire song, one that people need to listen to, bro. And Trippie, you need to start performing this at your concerts, bro. Like, this song is so ham. And now track number 11, Shake It Up. Now, this is where we get into that not every single rap song, or just every song in general, doesn't have to have meaning behind it. Like, it doesn't. Some songs can literally just be about nothing. But if you're going to do that, they have to be good songs. And Shake It Up is the pinnacle of that. This is a song that Trippie raps about like a girl or like twins just shaking their ass. That's what this song is about, but yet it's so fire. It is so freaking fire. It's one of the best on the album, bro. It's just such a feel-good song. And again, it's literally about nothing. And again, not every song has to be about something. But yeah, again, like that's just the thing too. Like, it's some of Trippie's best writing ever, but even when he's not writing about anything meaningful, it still just hits. And then moving on, we get Trippie back into his emotional bag with Oomp's Revenge. Definitely a standout Trippie song, and great writing on it. Obviously talking about his late brother on it as well. And again, I really like it. Track number 13, probably in my opinion the weakest on the album, but again, it's still a good song, Gore. I really like it. And again, my favorite part too is how like, I'm pretty sure too, like the song like starts a bit slower and then Trippie gets a bit more energy and then the chorus starts off very energetic. Or I think it's the opposite. The chorus starts off with a little less energy, then he gets more energy, and then his verse starts off very energetic, and then it kind of dies down a bit, but then it goes back up. This song is honestly like a roller coaster. Like, it keeps going up and down. It's a really good song. I really like it. And then the closer to the album, Underwater Fly Zone, is amazing. It is the least streamed song on the album, and I think kind of the reason for that is, like, this song doesn't hold as much on his own as it does when you actually listen to the album. Like, when you listen to it from start to finish, this song is perfect because it brings you full circle. Because the album name is literally Life's a Trip, and this album is a trip. And this one just kind of lets you digest everything. And it's just a perfect album closer. And again, some of Trippie's best writing on it as well. I think, though, the song could have been a little shorter. Like, if Trippie cut maybe close to a minute off of it, I think it could have been a little bit better, because I do think at some points it's kind of, like, annoying. Like, I would definitely understand if, like, a non-Trippie fan thought this song was annoying. But again, just for me personally, because I just like Trippie and I like I like his screaming, the song's not annoying to me. But again, very emotional. Love the writing on it. Love the lyrics. Love the sound. Love the feel. Great meaning to it as well, just kind of talking about how his underwater's his fly zone and stuff. But yeah, that's going to do it for our ranking. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments if you guys agree. If you guys don't, if you don't agree, let me know your rankings down below. And again, there's definitely stuff in the middle I can understand, but like top 3, but you can't change this. And Life's a Trip will always be his best album. Again, this thing is just perfect. It's absolutely perfect. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think down below. And yeah, goodbye.